Okay, are you able to see the one page?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it is just a logical extension. We have our voltage controlled oscillator as it is. So let me draw the figure for you. Then we have the Schmidt trigger. This we have seen yesterday. Now this is where it starts getting a little bit different. This is simply the voltage which is going to be used for controlling. It may look a little bit complicated, but it is not. So this basically is the new section. This was our triangular waveform generator. And this is called as a voltage controlled taper. Okay. So I'll just label these voltages and the components. This was your R1, C1, R2, R3. You get VO1. This is VO2. This resistor is R8. We call as D3, D4. We call this as R9. This is R10. Oh. All right. So this is basically called as a, in general, on the complete description is that this is called as a voltage controlled oscillator. Now, what basically do you mean by voltage controlled oscillator? Is that output voltage is a function. The output frequency is a function of the voltage. So if I change the voltage, for example, if I change this VB, the DC voltage, in that case, your output frequency will change. Frequency of the output waveform will change. So we have this dB, which is as variable we normally call it as a bias. It's a control voltage. And this diode D3, if you look at it carefully, it will prevent the positive peak of square wave input to the integrator. That is via this R8. So this part, voltage at this point, via R8 from exceeding, this is important, from exceeding what voltage? The bias voltage plus VD3. So what is going to happen here? When your output is going to be, say, the peak value, positive peak, that is, this is going to be plus Vsat at one time, and you can see here it is the same voltage will be appearing over here at this point. Okay, but then it will not rise above a certain point. Which point? Above this VB plus VD3, because the moment it tries to reach above VB plus VD3, this diode D3 will turn on, will get forward biased, and it will clip the voltage. We have already seen the voltage clippers, no, guys?
Yes, sir.
So it
Yes,
is
sir.
very similar. It is very similar to that. It is in fact it is called as an active clipper. We have already seen the passive clippers in EDA. So it is exactly like that. The only thing that is happening here is that so this positive peak voltage over here is prevented.
Yes, sir. So
Yes,
your voice is not clearly audible. It's breaking in between. There are distortions.
is it?
Yes, sir.
Now is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So VSAT is never reached. I mean, the voltage over here never reaches VSAT. Before that, it gets clipped by this combination of this bias voltage and this D3. The bias voltage is also inverted. You can see here that the bias voltage is inverted. So this is an inverting amplifier. Basically, this is an inverting amplifier. So whatever is the bias voltage is inverted and presented over here. So this is voltage over here will be minus VB. So together with diode D4, minus VB will prevent the negative peak. So when we have a positive peak, VSAT, for example, in that case, D3 prevents this peak from exceeding VB plus VD3. At the same time, when there is a negative peak, D4
Yes, sir.
prevents from exceeding this negative VSAT by minus VB minus VD4.
Yes.
Are you getting this?
Yes, sir.
So the positive and the negative peaks of the square wave can be adjusted. So we can control the voltage, the peak voltage is appearing over here by what? By controlling VB. Are you able to see that?
Yes.
So VB controls the peak voltage appearing at the input to integrator. This is very, very important. Are you able to understand that?
Yes, sir.
And yesterday we have seen, what have we seen yesterday? Depending on the peak voltage available here, we are having the switching of this go into, let us say, we were having something like the capacitor was getting charged, rather charged linearly. This was the peak voltage.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes,
So your screen has frozen. Can you please stop sharing and share it once again?
I don't know why this is acting up. Okay, I'll do that again.
Network issue. Yes.
Okay, is it visible now?
Also,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if you start at this point, you saw that it was like this. The voltage, isn't it? And then like this for this part. So if you are changing this itself, and what are these values basically? These values depend on what? What are these peak values dependent on? This was the UTP and this was the LTP, right?
LTP. Yes, sir.
And this LTP and UTP were dependent on what? The VSAT.
VSAT. Yes, sir.
That is a peak voltage. Now, if the peak voltage itself is different, I'll draw it with a different color. The peak voltage is different, so the time taken by the capacitor to charge or discharge will also be different. Are you getting
Yes,
this?
sir.
So instead of this, I may have a. In fact, it is not going to be like this. Let me clarify it further. So it never reaches the peak value, but it reaches somewhat about here, let us say. Okay, and then the LTP, new LTP is reached very fast, or let us say these values are also reduced. So it will be like this. And the moment it switches again, it will start behaving like this. Are you getting this?
Yes, sir.
Why? Because this was VSAT, this was minus VSAT. Of course, this also will be changing to new value like this. It will be like this. Yeah. Now, because this is the new value which is decided by VB plus VD
VB.
here, and this value is decided by minus of VB plus VD4. So you're not allowing, in fact, you're not allowing the capacitor to charge for a longer time. So if the charging and the discharging become very fast, what is happening to the frequency? What is happening to the frequency? Now here it is VO1. Here this waveform does not reflect VO2. Please remember one thing. It will reflect this voltage. I'll call this as Vx. So this is Vx. Earlier it was going all the way to Vsat and minus Vsat, but now it will be modified by this value. Are you able to understand this?
Yes,
Right?
sir.
So what is happening? We are able to change the frequency. Now frequency dependent on what? On the bias voltage. So that is the reason why it is called as a voltage controlled oscillator. Let us quickly see a design for VCO. So we want to have a VCO whose frequency is to be adjustable, or the range is to be between 400 hertz to 1 kilohertz. So this is a frequency output range, output frequency range. Okay. So the solution, select convenient, maximum clipped voltage. Okay, we call it as plus minus VC max. In fact, this is going to be what is your Vx. So step 1, let us say VC max is plus minus 10 volts. Remember, it has to be lower than Vsat, and we are assuming that VCC and VEE, so we are having plus minus 15 volts. All right. Now, step 2, for F max, which is equal to 1 kilohertz, and F min, which is 400 hertz. VC min is equal to VC max into F max, sorry, F min divided by F max. Because both the voltages are going to be same. It's only going to be a difference of polarity. It will be 10 volts into 400 hertz. This actually gets the range divided by 1 kilohertz using volts. Okay. Step 3, maximum bias voltage. We call it as BB max. Is your VC max minus the diode drop, which is 10 volts minus, we'll assume it to be a silicon diode, so 0.7 volts gives me 9.3 volts. Similarly, maximum or minimum bias voltage, BB min, is going to be VC min
Cement.
minus 0.7 again. That is going to be how much? VC min is 4 volts, which we have
4
calculated.
volts. Yes, sir.
0.7, that is giving me 3.3 volts.
0.3
So
volts.
this is the range. You can see, depending on this range, I'm going to have a change in the frequency. This is actually step 4. Step 5, at frequency of 1 kilohertz, So we already have calculated in the previous section, previous session. What is the current? We used to call this as I1, isn't it? So I think we have already calculated that current. Okay.
Yes,
And
sir.
it came out to be
117
17
microamperes.
microamperes. Correct. So now new value, new R1 is VC max divided by I1, which gives me 10 volts divided by 117 microampere, which is 85 kilo ohms. We'll use a standard value
Yes, sir.
of 82 kilo ohms.
2 kilo ohms, yes, sir.
Right. Now step 6, IR4. Again, we said that it should be very much greater than I1. So just a moment. I8, sorry. I8. IR8. So select IR8 as 1 milliampere. So I can calculate the value of R8 as V set on one side, VC max on the other side of this R8 divided by IR4. IR8. That will be 14 volt, V set is 14 volt minus volts divided by 1 milliampere. I get 4 kilo ohms. Use standard 3.9. Step 7. This current I10 is what I R or IR or RSI. Call this IR. So IR10, again, see that IR10, so this again, compare it with IP max, it has to be very much larger, just like our previous example. So IR10 has to be very much greater than IB max. So I can use IR10 as 100 microamperes because the IB max is about 500 nanoamperes. So IR10 very much greater than that. So now I can calculate R10 as VB minimum divided by IR10. So what is VB minimum? 3.3.
3.3 volts.
So 3.3 volts divided by
100.
microampere. That gives me how much? 33 kilo ohms, which is itself a standard value. So I
33.
don't have to worry about that. Okay. And make R9 equal to R10, which we have already calculated as 33 kilo. That finishes the design. All right. Let us quickly have
Yes,
a
sir.
look at the simulation and see what exactly is happening. So let me switch over to multisim. So is the multisim screen visible to all of you?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me share it once again. Now
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
Yes,
now
sir.
you can see here all the values that we have calculated. I have used it as it is, and let's see how it really works. So this is the output. Remember now the output that I'm taking is that VO2. Okay, and
Yes, sir.
you can see that if I change the bias value, that is what happens. You see what is happening? Do you see what is happening? If I
Yes,
change the
sir.
bias voltage, you can see that the frequency or the output waveform is getting changed.
Changed. Yes, sir.
You can verify that with the meter also frequency counter. Frequency counter visible.
So your voice is become distorted.
You are not
Okay.
audible.
Okay. Is the frequency counter visible?
Sir. Not still not audible, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. You are audible, but that sir screen has frozen once again. I guess that.
Hold on.
Caution in your voice and the screen is frozen, sir.
Just hold on. I'll reshare the screen.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Is it visible now? Hello.
Yes, sir. It's visible now.
Yes, sir, visible.
So are you able to see the frequency counter here?
Yes, sir.
Frequency
Yes,
counter
sir.
you are not able to see.
Yes, sir. We are able to see this now.
So okay. So if you can see here that the frequency changes. Okay. So on this lower side, even it can go down to what 68 hertz, and on the upper side, it can go up to 1 kilohertz, which is as per our range. What was the starting point? We said that frequency range should be adjustable between 400 hertz and 1 kilohertz. Now, the lower side it is still going down, but you can always restrict it with a fixed resistor.
So the
Okay.
screen is froze once again, I think.
Is it?
No, sir, it's visible.
Yes, sir. Sir,
Is it frozen or are you able to see it?
frozen.
Sir,
Guys,
it is frozen, sir.
it is
So it is
frozen.
frozen.
Yes, sir, it's frozen.
Oh, what is happening here? Now?
Sir,
Just
not
hold on.
visible for now.
Okay. Wait a minute. Okay, is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So you can see that we can change the frequency. So this is basically called as a voltage controlled oscillator, because we are necessarily changing the output frequency with the bias voltage VB.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that is
Yes, sir.
as far as VCO is concerned. It is a very important component because we're going to use it later on in what is called as a phase lock loop. So that is the reason why you should understand what exactly is a VCO. Without that, we cannot really understand what is PLL. Okay, now I'm going to shift over to new topic, that is IC 555. Just hold on, I'm just switching the screens. Okay, now is the OneNote page visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here we start actually with unit 5, and for that we'll be studying what is called as IC 555 today. Now it is called as a monolithic timing IC or circuit. So it is a monolithic. Monolithic means what? It is an integrated circuit which is used for timing most of the times. And it can produce accurate and highly stable time delays or oscillations. So it can use both. It can create time delays as well as oscillations. So basically it is an oscillator. Now that this particular IC can operate in two modes. One is called as the mono stable, also called as one shot multi vibrator. We've already seen astable and monostable multi vibrators, but with discrete components, isn't it? That is what we have done in EDA. All right.
Yes, sir.
And the second
Yes,
mode
sir.
is called as the astable, also called as the free running multi vibrator. Okay, it is available in 8-pin dual inline plastic package DIP or 14-pin DIP also. Okay, so most of the time this is the most popular package, and its features are like operating supply voltage is plus minus 5 volts up to 18 volts. It has got adjustable duty cycle. It can source or sink 200 milliamperes of current. This is very important. Why? Because you can directly connect a load like relay to it. Then it has got a temperature stability of 50 parts per million per degree Celsius. It is low cost and reliable. So this was a very popular. It still is very popular device, integrated circuit for creating simple applications involving the free running frequency or even the uh, one shot that is monostable wherever it is required. Okay, just let us quickly look at the package. So it is available in my DIP package. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. So the pin numbers are marked as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are the pins. This is 555. This one is ground. This is called as trigger. This is the output. This is called as reset pin. Here you have DC. Pin number 7 is the discharge. 6 is the threshold, and 5 is the control voltage. Let us not say voltage here, control pin. So this is how the device, the IC looks like. Okay, let us see the internal block diagram. It will take some time for me to draw that. It doesn't matter. Okay. That's better. So this is called as a comparator 1. This is called as comparator 2. We have a flip-flop here. This is the output stage. Just hold on. And you'll realize that we have already seen something like this earlier. It may look a little bit complicated to begin with, but actually it is very simple. Now these are the pins which we were talking about. So this is the block diagram. This value of resistor here is R. Let us say this is R. All same values. So naturally, what you expect here is, so if this is VCC, I'm going to mark them, mark the pins, pin numbers. Basically, this is 8, this is 5, this is 4, this is 2, this is your ground, which is pin number 1, and this is the output. Pin number 3. So you have, this is output, this is ground. Pin number 2 is trigger. This is reset pin. Here we have the internal VREF reference voltage. Then we have this is the control voltage. Here we have a threshold. The pin number is 6, and this is discharge, which is 7. So this is the block diagram, internal block diagram of the 555. You see, it's going to be very easy if we reduce it to a different format altogether. So here, if I apply VCC to this, so this is your VCC. So here it will be having 2/3 VCC. Here it will be 1/3 VCC. Do you remember where we have seen this, guys?
Yes, sir.
Where? Where have we seen this? Yesterday itself we have seen this, no?
We were seeing that ICL 8038 functions in
Correct.
IC.
So that was where we saw this
Yes,
this
please.
type of potential divider.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we have to first of all understand the basic timing concept. Okay. So I will try to discuss that now. The basic timing concept.
Sir,
Sir,
screen has frozen.
it's not frozen.
One sec.
That's frozen, sir.
Okay. Is it visible now?
Sir, it's visible, but in that frozen state only. We can't see anything else.
But I have already reshared it. Try to do that again. Okay. Is it
Yes,
visible
sir.
now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Okay. So for that, we will have a little bit different circuit being discussed here. So that will actually clarify the concept, and then you will be able to understand. So I'm drawing another circuit to explain the timing concept. This is just a potential divider to have. So this is negative, this is positive. This is just a comparator, right? And I'm having a resistor here and a capacitor here. Let us call this as R, this as C. Tying this to this point. From the same point, I'll be using a transistor as a switch, which literally shorts the capacitor. Output of the comparator goes to what is called as the SR flip-flop. Output is Q bar, and this is connected to the base of the transistor. Remember that the transistor is being used as a switch. All right. So let us apply, let us say 15 volts here, 5K, and this is 10K. Okay. Let's see what happens to this. Uh, I assume that Q is high, so I'm it with.
So you're not audible, sir.
Hello, hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Am
you
I
are
audible?
distorted.
Yes, sir.
It's a distorted voice, sir.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Is it clear or is it being, the voice is cutting up off?
Sir, it is
Sir,
getting
it's taking out again.
Sorry, one by one, please.
So your voice
so your
is
voice.
breaking.
एक एक करके बोलो यार.
सर डिस्टॉर्टेड आवाज आ रही है सर आपकी.
Is it all of you having the same problem?
So now
Yes,
it's
sir.
Now it's सही.
Okay. I don't know why this Microsoft has started behaving oddly since yesterday. Anyways, so assume that Q is high. So I'm just marking it with red. Okay. Now if Q is high, that is where we start. This will actually saturate the transistor. So this transistor will be on. Okay. Now if the transistor is on, does it actually, what happens here? You see that the capacitor is completely short circuited. So capacitor is not allowed to charge. ठीक है ना?
yes, sir.
Call this as Q. So since instead of Q, I'll call it because Q is Q. So I'll call this as transistor T. Okay. So assume Q is high, then E is on, that is the transistor is on and capacitor is short circuited. So it is not allowed to charge. What about the non-inverting terminal of the comparator? This one. What is this? What is the value?
2/3 VCC.
How come? This is 0. It is not connected here. There is a jumper here. Can you see that?
Sir, your screen has freeze, sir.
Come on. Now, is it okay? Guys,
Yes, sir. It's visible
okay.
now.
So non-inverting terminal, this is the non-inverting terminal. Now here it will be called as a threshold voltage.
Yes, sir.
And here we'll call this as the control. Okay. Inverting is tied to 2/3 VCC. That's fine. But non-inverting is actually the voltage across the capacitor. Okay.
Check the 0.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, as you can see, because of that, this condition, the threshold voltage is tied to ground in this condition. Okay, na?
Yes, sir.
What is the value of control voltage here? It is 10 volts. You can calculate that using potential divider. Here on. Now, suppose we apply a high to our input. Now, I make this high. Externally, if I make this high, understand this carefully. What am I doing? I am making this R high externally. What is going to happen? So this is actually resetting the flip-flop. If R is say if the flip-flop is reset, then what will happen? What is going to happen? Q becomes what? If you reset a flip-flop, what will happen to you?
0.
It becomes low.
Low. Yes, sir.
So the transistor is now off.
Off.
So what is going to happen? Now the capacitor is free to charge.
Yes, sir.
Capacitor is now free to charge like this. Now capacitor is free to charge through resistor R. ठीक है ना? So it will take some time to charge. All of us know that. Depends on this R and C. Okay. Now as soon as it reaches a value, this voltage reaches a value which is slightly greater than 2/3 VCC or 10 volts. What is going to happen? What is going to happen? Guys? Hello?
Yes, sir. So can you repeat once again? Your voice was.
This capacitor is now charging through R,
Yes, sir.
and this voltage slowly rises. As soon as it rises about 10 volts, slightly above 10 volts, what is going to happen? See, this is a comparator. Inverting input is tied to 10 volts. Non-inverting is this threshold voltage, which is a
Sure.
voltage across the capacitor. So as soon as this voltage slightly crosses more than 10 volts, the comparator is going to what? Is going to go high.
Go
Now,
high.
the comparator is going to go high. And in doing that, it will again set the flip-flop.
Hit the flip flop. Yes, sir.
So, as voltage across capacitor increases slightly above 10 volts, the
Sir, your
comparator.
screen is frozen.
Is it? All of you are having the same problem?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes, sir. It's visible now.
as voltage across capacitor increases slightly above 10 volts, the comparator output will go high and set the flip-flop. Now, if the flip-flop is set, what will happen to Q? So Q is on, or let us say Q is
High.
high.
Yes, sir.
And again T
He
is
will be
on.
on. Yes, sir.
So what will happen to that? What will happen to
So in that case,
capacitor? Whatever is the charge on the
capacitor.
capacitor, yes, it gets a discharge path through the transistor.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So what we are looking at, the type of waveform that we are looking at, is something like this. So the capacitor, this is the threshold voltage, let us say. That is voltage across capacitor. It starts with 0, then it charges to value. In this case here it is 10 volts. All right. At that time, okay, where we are looking at the output is this point. We call this as V out. That is your Q bar. You can see that this value is high, and then after that there is again something like this. So the output of course was 15 volts, whatever. This is your output. So what is the basic idea here? The basic idea or the timing concept is that if I apply a trigger here at the control, what is going to happen is the capacitor will start charging, and after some time, which is set by R and C, I'm again going to have the switching action.
Yes, sir.
Are you able to understand this? This is the basis of your IC 555. If you
Yes,
understand
sir.
this, you will be able to understand the 555 properly. So what we are achieving here is that there will be a pulse, output will remain high for some time, which is decided by the R and C constant, which is external, which are the external components. So by changing the value of R or C, I can stretch this pulse. Okay? Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Now let me see if I can show you the timing concept in simulation. I have to search for that. Okay, I seem to have lost it somewhere. Anyways, so I think we have already crossed our time limit. So just hold on for basic time. Yeah, I got it. Let me share the screen for Multisim again. Okay, is the Multisim screen visible?
No, sir, not till now.
Is it visible now? Now?
No, sir, not till now. Sir, screen is being shared, but till now anything is not visible.
Now?
No, sir. Yes, sir, it's visible now. The multisim screen.
Okay. So as you can see, I have constructed this circuit as we had already said, and
So the
I'm
sharing has stopped. So it was visible, but I guess you stopped sharing the screen.
no. Okay, now is it visible now?
सर आप एक बार रिकनेक्ट कर लो.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir, it's visible now.
Okay, now you can see that I have connected some the same kind of circuit I've used for the discussion, and I'm triggering it repetitively. So let's see what exactly happens. See what is happening? This is exactly what we had predicted.
Yes,
Are you
sir.
able to see that?
Yes, sir.
The only thing is that I'm repetitively triggering it now using an external source again. All right. In 555,
Yes,
we're
sir.
going to derive that trigger from internal itself, internal source itself. Okay, that's actually going to give you the concept of free running uh, oscillator. Anyways, so I think the basic timing concept should be clear now. That by changing this value of resistor, external values of external components R and C, I can change the period of the, and in fact
Yes.
the frequency of the pulse. Okay, so fine. We'll stop here for today. We'll be meeting in the evening, provided I don't get any side effect from the vaccine. I'm going to go and get the vaccine today. So if I don't get any side effects, we'll meet in the evening. I'll let you know. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. I'm stopping the session now.